Hello friends, thanks so much for being here. Today it's going to be another fall collage and I'm going to be using this beautiful sunflower picture as my main background photo, and we're going to collage on top of this. I have some of these cool prints that are going to be involved somehow, maybe not all of them, but I'm already thinking of, I'm going to cut along here on the sunflower and all the way down here and over to this end, and one of these papers will be in the background right there in that section. So I'll pick one of these patterns. Not sure which one yet, we'll see. And then I will use some other images to fill in parts of the collage, and then I have some autumn/fall quotes. And by the way, most of the products I'll be using today, or images, quotes, things like that, are from either of my fall paper packs. I have two now. So the first one went up a few weeks ago, and that's the one that features this sunflower image and a lot of these other images, like these quarter page images. And then I have another fall paper pack that I just finished that has some plaids and checks and things like that, and it also includes, let me go, I just saw it. It also includes some fall items like leaves and pumpkins and squash that you could cut out and then use that as an outline and cut. Let's say you choose this pumpkin, which I'm thinking about using today, and then you can take a pattern and put that pumpkin on top of it and cut around, and then you have like a plaid pumpkin. So I'm already thinking I might be doing that today. And then we have these quotes. That's in the first fall paper pack that I put up on my website. But also, I mention this in every collage video, I love to go through magazines and find fall images, not fall images, any image that has to do with my theme. And I do have some fall images here and some fall phrases that I found in magazines. I have these, and I found some more, like Here Come the Sunflowers. I thought that's really cool because I am doing a giant sunflower. I have fall layers and the sunflower wreath, and then I have some of my smaller traceable fall theme designs like corn, pumpkin, leaves, apple. So I made two different sizes, or maybe even three. That's sad that I don't even remember because I just finished that fall paper pack. But they come in different sizes too. So I'll show you later how this works, because like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use one of these today. So you can see that later. But let's see, I have a sunflower wreath, just some other fall images, basically some pretty yellow trees there. So I'm going to set this aside, except for Here Come the Sunflowers. I'll go ahead and grab that, and maybe these fall leaves from my paper pack. I think everything else I can set aside for now. I just don't want to forget about this phrase. The smaller stuff, it's so easy for it to get lost. Maybe I'll put it here. But anyway, when you're looking for magazine images, you can think about elements on the page of the image, and same with some of my images. Like I could use this plaid here. I don't have to use the pie. You know, I could just use parts of it. And the whole point of the quarter page images that I came up with is so that you can cut out elements from the smaller images if you want. Like this little white pumpkin, you don't have to use the whole image. You can just cut out this pumpkin or this cup of hot apple cider. And by the way, all of these smaller images are available as full size 8.5 by 11 images too, all in the same paper pack. So every single image you see here is a quarter page. In that paper pack, it will also be a full size version like this sunflower. So we have the quarter page here and we have the full page version, and it's all in the same. So if you decide you ever want to purchase that, you do have the large and the small all in the same paper pack, and a lot of quotes and phrases that have to do with fall. Anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get started. So whenever I collage, I mentioned this in some of my other videos, I try to already have like a theme in mind or a color scheme, and I try to get some idea of what it's going to be like before I get started, and I gather up different images and such. And so like this, I saw this sunflower and I'm like, that is really pretty looking and really cool looking. And then I started looking at it and thought, well, I could just cut this little section out and we'll make it a little more interesting by putting something else behind it. So that was my starting point, and then I just kind of went from there. Okay, this is yellow and brown, so what else can go with this yellow and brown scheme? And fall, of course, is the main theme. But yeah, I always start with the background image, almost always, and then I go from there. I look for things that can complement that background image. It's like a starting point. Okay, so we're going to see which one looks best. That looks really cool. I do like that a lot. So that's from my second fall paper pack. This is also from that second fall paper pack of plaid. Ooh, I like that too. Maybe not as much as this one. So far, yeah, I like this one better. So we're gonna set this one aside. Let's put it down here. Okay, but we also have these cool pine cones. Let's see what that looks like. Move this one out of the way. I think it's gonna be between these three because I have an idea for this plaid. So I'm going to save that, I think. Yeah, I don't like that as much either. Well, you know what? We will try the plaid just in case. It looks amazing. That does look really good, but my favorite is this one. So this just has some fall leaves, like brown and yellow, or gold, I should say. So I like that. So this is an idea for you right away. So again, I cut out part of this sunflower, and now I'm going to glue this to the other background. I got my decorative glue sticks here. And so now already my collage has an interesting look. And if you start out with a cool background, it makes your final result so much better, and it becomes so much easier to come up with something cool looking. So now if you haven't seen my other fall collage videos, something I've said in each one is that I personally love fall. And it's funny, I was watching, let's line this up, I was watching the British baking show, I think it's called, and it's on Netflix. I had to stop recording because of the school bus. It was loud. Okay, so I was watching the British baking show. I think it was from last year's season, and this guy said they had like an episode where they had to bake fall related desserts. So you do like pumpkin pie, pecan pie, things like that, or any type of variation, apple pie. And they were just talking about fall, and this one guy said he did not like fall. I'm like, who doesn't like fall? I don't know, but he didn't. Okay, anyway, so this is what I had in mind for this cool looking plaid. Is I'm going to cut out this pumpkin. I hope this looks okay. I have not tried this yet, but I'm going to lay this pumpkin down. Go back to that show. The desserts looked amazing. I love all the fall desserts. Apple pie, pecan pie, or maybe you say pecan. I say pecan. Pumpkin pie, and I love pumpkin spice lattes, all that good stuff. So, but I always ask in my fall videos, you know, what you like about fall the most. Do you like the cooler weather, pumpkin spice lattes, the fall desserts, fall activities like hay rides and pumpkin patches and haunted houses and stuff? Or is fall not really your thing? Or maybe you like it all. I like it all. And it, you know, it leads into Halloween and Thanksgiving and then Christmas. It's just a magical time of year, and it's beautiful outside. Okay, so for these outlines, what you can do, you can print them on cardstock, which would be better. I did not do that right now, but for this one, I said right now, but you don't have to print these on cardstock, and I did not print these on cardstock. But if you do, they'll probably last a little longer, and it will be a little bit easier to cut around them. Okay, but you don't have to. I just printed on regular printer paper. So, and you just place it on here, and then you can cut around it. Now there are a couple ways to keep it in place. You can use painter's tape, which is probably what I will do. And painter's tape doesn't really stick to it. And there's also art tape or archival tape, and it's red and thin. And that's the same thing, where it the idea is it will hold something in place, but it won't mess up your paper. But you could also try using paper clips. So, you know, I could take cut this out and then paper clip it until I've cut it out. I haven't tried that yet, but maybe I'll do that on a future video. And you can also trace around it in pencil, or just hold it, you know, hold it between your fingers. So, but I have done the painter's tape before. Oh, the school bus is back. It's probably going to be loud. And I liked that method. It worked well for me. And I can either cut through this painter's tape or just kind of cut around it. And I'm probably just going to cut around it. And then you can remove the painter's tape and then just cut the rest out, which, you know, it's a small amount. If it doesn't have to be perfect. Or you can just hold it in place. Remove the painter's tape and then just hold it. Let's see. So for now, I think I'm just going to cut to there, up to the painter's tape. And let's do this side. I always seem to be recording when the kids are getting off the school bus, and the school bus can be loud. But it's cute, you know, the kids getting off the school bus. It's really cute when they're younger anyway. Okay, so that I took a piece of painter's tape off, and now I can cut this side. And I could have done this, you know, before I started recording, but I wanted to show you how you could do it as well. I gotta cut this end off, it's just getting in the way. And when I start collaging, I don't know if you collage and if you're the same way, but when I collage, again, I just get kind of an idea of how I want it to look, but I don't know exactly how it's going to end up. All right, I've just moved my painter's tape so I could cut this side. So again, just cutting around the pumpkin, and I'm going to cut around the stem before I remove the tape. Okay, so, and also what I could do, and which is what I'm going to do now, is go and use the painter's tape around both layers where I've already cut out. And again, that's going to help me keep it in place while I finish cutting. And just to be clear, my paper packs are digital downloads. So you get them instantly. I don't ship anything to you. And the beauty of that is you can use it over and over again. So let's say I accidentally cut off the stem of this pumpkin when I was cutting around the design. Well, I just go print it again. You know, you don't have to buy it again, it's yours. On my website I say buy once, use forever. Okay, so that's the end result. So I took this stencil or outline, and now I have my pumpkin outline. So that might be all we do on those. I like my corners to be a little softer, so I'm just gonna trim this stem down a little bit. Okay, so my thought for this is now I would put some sort of quote, small quote above it. So I'm looking through my quotes in one of my fall paper packs. Right now I just call them Fall Paper Pack 1 and Fall Paper Pack 2, so this is number 1. Like I have Welcome to Beautiful Fall, and then I have all of these, and they have different backgrounds, so it's really just picking the best background. But before I pick this small phrase that's going to go across my pumpkin design, I would need to pick out my large phrase. I like to have some sort of large wording that I use. So it's going to be between these two, I think. I think those are the only two I printed out. There are others, but I think these two had the best backgrounds. Or I could just do one of these with a white background. So, like, I could use falling leaves, but it's a big sunflower, so I'm not sure if that is big enough either. I love fall most of all, and I made different fonts, and again, every phrase that I put in the paper pack has at least 2 different backgrounds to choose from, and I chose this brown plaid because I thought that might go well, so I like that. And then this phrase, autumn is my favorite color, and of course it's not really a thing as far as like, oh, autumn is a color, but it's figuratively. Yeah, I like the plaid, so I'm gonna do I love fall most of all, and I think maybe I'll do the cursive. Okay, let's do that. But that phrase, autumn is my favorite color, it's just figuratively, you know, for people who love fall. So all the colors of fall, like red, orange, yellow, and the way they work so beautifully together. And it's also like the spirit of fall, I would say. This autumn has a certain vibe to it. Okay, so we have this cool looking phrase. And now I'm gonna probably cut it down. I have an idea here. I'm gonna use my little cutter. So I'm in North Carolina, and like I said, it's October 1st. The leaves have not started to change yet. It's still too warm. Oh, that wasn't even straight. I gotta concentrate a little bit more. I'm talking. So let me get this lined up a little bit better. Oops, I can't see. That's part of the problem. Okay, so now you have to make sure it's lined up along this back edge. And I do that. Okay, so now that looks pretty good. But I feel like I could probably get a little closer to the words there. So let's trim it down even more. Okay. Okay, that looks good. And then, for those of you who have watched my videos before where I'm collaging, I like torn edges. I like the look of that. Just gives it some interest, and it's easy. Just fold the paper and then tear it along the edge. Okay. So, and then another trick is to cut these in half so that you have two separate pieces of paper. I usually just use my scissors to do that, but maybe I'll go ahead and use this little handy dandy tool. I just feel like I can't see it as well sometimes. Like along the edge, you know, it's like, do I really have that straight? Okay, hopefully this works. Okay, that looks good. For those of you who collage or make junk journals and things like that, where do you get your materials? Like junk journaling, I know you can use things that you get when you're out and about, like wrappers and labels, and you can use pictures that you took, and of course you can do that in collaging as well, but I would love to know where you get your materials for your junk journaling or scrapbooking, collaging, all of that stuff. Because for me, you know, I'm making some of these designs, but I use magazines a lot as well. Okay, so I kind of want these offset. I think that will add more interest, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold this back again and tear it again. Oops, that was not straight, but there we go. And I'm just going to use my scissors because there's a straight line here. I can follow that line. Okay, there we go. For some reason this doesn't look straight even though I used that tool. Okay, so I like that. That looks good. So we're going to bring this down. So see how I made these different lengths, even though they were printed out, the I Love Fall, and then most of all, they were pretty much the same length on the sheet. I made it so the top one is a little shorter. I just cut it a little bit closer to the words. I feel like I could cut this down a little bit. So, and then I'd like to know what fall activities you have planned. I have not planned anything, but I am going to do something fall. Like, as kiddish as it sounds, this way, I like to do pumpkin patches. So, let's see, I feel like this isn't quite working the way my hands work. I'm gonna get this side. There we go. So I don't know. I just like to go to a pumpkin patch even though I don't have any kids. It's just one of those things. I don't want to pick out a pumpkin from the store. I want to go to the pumpkin patch. It's totally immature, but it's fun. You know, that's like you get to be a little bit of a kid for an hour or so. Maybe that's why I don't use these very often and I think I'm just going to use the scissors. I can just see better, and I don't know, I'm not spending extra time just trying to line it up. I don't care if it's perfectly straight for the most part. If it's close, then that's good enough for me. Okay, so now that, I love that. Okay, but before I'm going to glue this down, I like to think several steps ahead before I start gluing down, just to make sure, because obviously once it's glued, tougher to work with, can't really peel it off for the most part. So now I have to decide between like a plain white, these two sheets actually have, it's what, it's like a white wood background, so you see some of the wood coming through. I like the idea of using that maybe the most. Let's see. This is tough. Falling leaves, no. Autumn harvest. I don't want to use I Love Fall most of all because I'm using that in my large coat. So the small one, I could do Welcome to Beautiful Fall, and it's in brown font, which I like. And then this one is a dark brown. That was my cat, by the way. He just woke up from a nap, so that probably means that he's going to start bugging me pretty soon, interrupting my phoning. Okay, so I chose Welcome to Beautiful Fall in this sort of bold font. And it's a dark brown color, so I made these in different fonts and different colors, like subtle changes in the colors in some cases. Well, these two are in black, and then this one's, I think, a dark brown. Yeah, it looks like a dark brown, like a very dark brown, brownish black, and then a lighter brown. Again, just to give you choices. Okay, I like that. So we're gonna do that, but just cut it down. And of course, torn edge. Oh, maybe I should have torn this edge. Well, it's too late. We're going to tear this edge, and then again we're going to split the lines of the words. Okay. Trim down the line a little bit more, and this, actually want to get that a little closer. It's just little nuances like that. And then trim the bottom here. Okay, so Welcome to Beautiful Fall. I like that. Again, I'm not sure about the location here, so I'm going to see what else I can find. And I may put one of these smaller words in white up here, so I'm going to leave that out. I feel like I had something else in mind. Let's see. Okay, I have some leaves. I have these pine cones, so that's part of my paper pack. I think maybe this top pine cone, the larger one, I'll cut that out. I have apple pie. Not sure I'll be using that today, so let's put that aside. I love this plaid. I wonder if I could make something out of that plaid. Like I could do a plaid leaf. I think that would look pretty cool. And okay, let's do that. Let's do a plaid leaf. So I'm going to go back to my templates. Let's use this one. Just cut it down a little bit. Okay. And same thing, I'm going to use, I don't want to mess that up, my painter's tape. Actually, let me cut this out first. Just kind of a rough idea of how much I need. Okay, so as long as that fits on there, grab my painter's tape. You could also paint it to the, or paint it, tape it to the back, but it would be flipped around, like this side would end up on that side. So you have to keep that in mind. If you put it on the back, everything's going to be flipped. So this takes a little bit more patience than the pumpkin. But I'm not very patient in cutting these out. So just try to go as quickly as I can. I used to live in a cold state, like where it snowed. Like a couple places actually I've lived where it's been, where it was really cold in the winter. One place I used to live, it would start snowing sometimes in late October. So I kind of didn't like the fall in the sense that I knew winter was coming, and I hate winter when I live in a cold place, or when I have in the past. I will not live in a cold place ever again, because I hated like the dread, like, oh, winter's coming. Now in North Carolina, and when I lived in Las Vegas before, I didn't mind winters because it doesn't hardly snow here, and it pretty much never snowed in Las Vegas. And in Las Vegas, you were glad when winter came because it was always so hot. So I was like, yay, winter's here. And fall was still, or could still be really hot. And same here. It can get hot here in the fall too. Like September, which is partly fall, was super hot this year. Okay, now the stem on the leaf, whoops, see now it's starting to move. So I need to try to get this back. Oh, that piece of tape, no wonder it's like not holding anything. Okay, I'm gonna just do the best I can to try to tape this back together. And fold it over. So you have to fold it over so it grabs both papers. So for me, I think I'm not going to worry about the stem. I'm just going to cut it off. So you can keep the stem or cut it off. You know, a leaf without a stem in your collage is still going to look fine. Okay, let's see how this looks. See, if you pull gently, that painter's tape just comes right off. Okay, that looks cool. I like it. So save my leaf. So the only thing about doing this is it's so messy. Makes a mess, but I still love doing it. Okay, I could put the phrase up here, welcome to beautiful fall, and then maybe could say leaves are falling, autumn is calling. My favorite color is October. I like that. Sweater weather and crunchy leaves. And let's see. I also had that sheet with the larger. Oh, and by the way, you can just cut out individual words here. I could just cut out the word autumn here and use that, which I may do. Leaves are, this is too big, so okay. We are going to make a decision. I'm going to do sweater weather and crunchy leaves. Oh, wait a minute. I have my sunflower phrase. Oh, how could I forget? Here come the sunflowers. Let's trim that down and see if that's a better fit. And this came from a magazine, so I get free magazines from a local, well, not so local library anymore. I'd have to drive quite a ways now, but and you can find them at thrift stores, and you can ask friends for the magazines. You can get free guidebooks from like cities you visit in states, like the welcome centers and stuff. I use those. Okay, cool. Yes, I have to use this. Here come the sunflowers. I love it. So that reminds me that there's a place I'm going to visit soon that's not too far from where I live, and they have this huge section of flowers, and a lot of them are sunflowers, and it's free, by the way. That's what's really cool. You can go there for free, and they have all these flowers, including lots of sunflowers, and people go there not just to see all the gorgeous fall flowers, but it attracts butterflies, bees, and a lot of these little yellow birds. I don't know what they're called, but it is just neat to see all the nature. And you go there and it's just all these yellow birds are flying in and out, and it's just neat little things like that that make life nicer. And again, here, around here, that's just one of the fall activities to do. And you get outside and you just see all this cool nature. It's a lot of fun. So maybe you can find things like that where you're at. Okay, so I cut out this pine cone. I like that. Oh, I love how this is coming together. And then let's get a yellow leaf, because right here, a lot of brown there, so I'm thinking a yellow leaf to give it some nice contrast. Okay, I'm going to move this over for now because I feel like we might be getting close to the end here. If this looks as good as I think it will, then we might be done. Or I might find a little bit more to add to it. But if you're new here, I am making a quote book. So a quote book is just a book of positive quotes and pretty pictures that you can go through when you're feeling down, but it's also just a fun creative outlet. Okay, I love all of this. I think it's looking good. This might need the yellow leaf. Okay, so I just moved all my stuff, but I feel like this needs something. So I have my phrases in dark brown. So I could put another phrase. I'll look through my box here. Okay, I found this in a magazine. Looked fabulous this fall. Might use that. I could even just use the word fall from that. Okay, let's look through this one more time. Yep, there's something there. So we're going to pick I don't know, I can just do the word fall. Or this fall. I also have these. Autumn days are here again. That could work. I like, okay, we're going to use this. Look fabulous this fall. I just have to decide how I'm going to cut this up and if I'm going to use all 4 words. So here I'm purposely leaving the white border on just because I like the look of it. But I do want to trim down the bottom, but I'm going to purposely leave some of that light brown in. Gives it some variety. Okay, I like that. Okay, look fabulous. Fabulous this fall. I almost want to just do fabulous this fall. Let's cut up the words. Look fabulous this fall. See, that was from a local magazine. So if you have a local magazine in your area, they had like a section on fall fashion, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna grab that phrase. Okay, well, I think I'll make it kind of purposely out of whack, you know, not in alignment. Okay, let's do it. All right, so we are ready to start gluing. We have a lot to glue down. I'm going to start with this pine cone. Okay, and pine cones are something you can use, you know, for decoration for free. Just go out and grab some from your yard, or if you're allowed to take them out of a local park or something. You just grab those and put them in a bowl, or spray paint them. Spray paint them gold. I love the really big pine cones, those are cool. Okay, so I can never remember exactly where I had something. I'm just gonna go right there. Okay, welcome to... Oh, I have a story about sunflowers that I had in my yard years ago. So I used to have a house in another state, and well, that's just gonna stay there. And we decided to put sunflowers at the very back of our yard, and then we had a fence around our yard. Well, we had neighbors behind us, and one day our doorbell rings. It was like a Sunday afternoon or something, and I'm like, who's ringing our doorbell? I saw some kids. Ooh, let's see, I was able to move it before it dried. There we go. And so I opened the door, and I'm like, since normally I don't open for strangers, and these days I may not even open for kids, but I opened the door, and they're like, oh, we live behind you, and our mom was wondering if we could have some of your sunflowers for our table. And back then I was like very quiet, and I would just be like, oh, okay, you know, just go along with it. But looking back, like, I didn't know these people. I look back and I'm like, that was so kind of not cool to send your kids. I didn't know these people at all. Never said a word to them. They never said a word to me. To send your kids and ask for us to go in our yard and cut sunflowers. Like, we had maybe 6 that were in bloom, and they wanted like 3 for their table. I look back and I'm like, wow, that was so obnoxious. And I never even got a thank you or anything. That lady, she never came over. The mom never came over and said thank you. She never sent her kids back to send a thank you card. And again, it would be different if I knew them. They were like friends or something. That would maybe be different. But I was like, wow, that's so rude. Like, I don't know you, and you're asking for my gorgeous sunflowers out of my yard. So today I'd be like, no. And even if a friend asked me, I don't know. I mean, like I said, we only had 6. If we had a whole field, totally different. But we only had like 6. It wasn't a lot. And they were these giant sunflowers. And maybe I should just feel good because I, you know, shared something beautiful with someone else. But like I said, it just, I think just sending your kids, at least have the guts to come over yourself and ask and introduce yourself, and to not say thank you afterwards, just wow. So it goes to show you, you know, people will use you if you're not careful, and they'll just try to take advantage. And not everybody, of course. I don't feel like everybody is like that at all. But there are people out there that are just kind of rude and don't realize how maybe obnoxious they're being, or maybe they do realize and they don't care. So you just have to have boundaries is what I'm saying. Like these days I definitely have better boundaries. If that happened again, be like, no. Like, are you serious? No. I don't know you. Okay, so we're almost done. So I try to be positive on this channel, so that wasn't like the most positive story, but I also want people to, like nice people, to have boundaries, because the not so nice people will take advantage of us nice people if we let them. So positive and kind, but also have some boundaries for yourself. Okay, but maybe, you know, maybe it's not such a big deal. You tell me, but my opinion is that lady was kind of obnoxious for doing that. And for me, if they're my sunflowers, I'm entitled to say no. And I would never do that to somebody. Like, I would never have the audacity to ask some stranger for something from their yard. Especially something, it was not like it was even a small tiny flower. It was like these big giant sunflowers, and you're taking half of our sunflowers. Okay, but back to positivity. Look at this. I really like this. I feel like I could put something here though. I always do this. I look at it and go, actually needs one more thing. So let's see if we can find maybe one more thing to go here. I did cut out this carrot last night from my paper pack. That's not gonna work. Maybe just another leaf. I have these small leaves. Let's see. I have these big leaves. Only the brown one would look pretty good probably. And then I have all these items, so there are gold pine cones here. Oh, the squirrel could be really cute. Ooh, I have to do the squirrel. Let's try the squirrel. That's why I added the squirrel to the paper pack. And the turkey, just thought, oh, let's add some animals. It could be really cute. I'm gonna cut her around him or her. This is kind of hard though, because they have the little claws. But that's why I put the black background behind it, because behind all of those elements, because now I can just cut around the feet and it's not like white poking through, it just kind of blends. This is not going to be a great clean cut, but this video is getting kind of long. It's getting hot in here. See, it's still hot outside, so I'm hot without the air. I have to turn the air off to film. Okay, so let's cut around. Oh, I love the bushy tail on this squirrel. Some people get mad when squirrels eat birdseed, and I get it. I mean, they eat so much, but I'm also like, they have to eat too. They get hungry too. So maybe just lay out some acorns or peanuts or something. I'm not sure what all you can feed them, but I guess. You can feed them most nuts, but not positive. If you're thinking about doing that, just look it up because I don't know. All right. Oh, it's so cute. I know they can be kind of mean, but they look so cute. Where can we put her or him? On the pumpkin, kind of like sideways. That's cute, but then I still have the gap here. Can't have a gap. An acorn, maybe? Okay, we can do these acorns here, I think. I want a contrasting color though. Autumn days are here again. Well, I don't know. I think we're just going to do the acorns because, like I said, I'm getting hot. And hey, our squirrel needs some giant acorns to eat. Yeah, these could be cool. I'm going to cut fast because I'm burning up. But I'd rather be hot than freezing. Okay, so again, this black border is going to just allow the acorns to blend in a bit better if you don't do a perfect cut like me. Okay, that's cute. Let's do it. Put our little guy or gal here on the pumpkin. And like that. And let's glue our acorns. Okay, and right here, let's see. Again, I need to pay more attention to what I'm thinking before I glue it down. Okay. All right, there we go. I like it. All right, so welcome to beautiful fall. I love fall most of all. Here come the sunflowers and look fabulous this fall. What kind of fall fashion are you gonna wear this year? Of course, sweaters. I wear a lot of sweatshirts actually over sweaters because they're more comfortable. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Especially if I'm at home. It is sweatshirts, not sweaters. But yeah, jeans. I like when it cools off and you can start wearing jeans again. And let's glue this little corner down. Okay, so here is our third fall collage. Again, a mixture of my two fall paper packs, but also we have Look Fabulous this fall from a magazine. Here come the sunflowers from a magazine, so you can also use magazine pictures to collage with. And whatever fall brings you, I hope it's fabulous. Hope to see you back here. Take care. Bye.